All right, let's talk about carrier authority, broker authority, how people get those confused. By the way, my name is Mike. I'm your host. I do the FBTV video podcast, audio podcast. I'm also the lead consultant for Taltoa, TALTOA.com. If you didn't know your first time watching one of our videos, well, Taltoa, we are a consulting firm, transportation and logistics. We specialize in working with freight brokers, freight broker agents, trucking companies, helping them build their business, helping them get started, helping them head in the right direction. We have all kinds of consulting packages available. Consulting packages that include in-depth training. Now, if you're a freight brokerage or you're opening up a freight brokerage, we have training for you and your staff. We can even do a website for you. Now, if you are someone wanting to get into the transportation industry as a freight broker, maybe a freight broker agent, that's what we always recommend. Start out as a freight broker agent. Because that, starting out as a freight broker agent, will allow you to begin your broker operation, start gaining experience, real life experience, building a customer base so that you can move forward. We have all kinds of packages available, consulting packages. Matter of fact, if you want to start out as an agent, when you finish your training, you can enter our mentorship program. That's where you will be placed through us, Taltoa, to work for an existing broker under their license. So that way, it's all legal for you. All right? You're going to be paid a commission while you're in the mentorship program. That commission is standard 60% of net. Net is the difference between what the customer paid you to move a load and what you paid the truck. If you had a customer, they paid you $2,500 to move a load from point A to point B. You found a truck to move the load for $17. That's an $800 load net. That's where you're getting your commission off the net, $800. So if you were on a 60% net, or commission schedule rather, that $800, your commission would be $480. All right, enough of that. If you want to check us out, Taltoa.com, TALTOA.com. If you'd like, you can call me, 479-668-0838. Be happy to talk to you about it, explain the packages, help you get everything rolling. Now, never fails that I get a call from someone that wants to get their broker authority so they can broker loads to their own truck. I get where you're coming from. If you've got your own carrier authority, you've been working, this is where it usually comes from, a carrier, a small carrier, been working with brokers 100% of the time, which we have videos for that on Taltoa, talking about how much money you're not going to make. But your carrier authority, that's what it allows you to do. It allows you to deal directly with shippers, customers, people that will pay you direct. So you can get away from using a broker for every load. Matter of fact, you don't want to be using a broker for every load. If you are, stop it. Well, you can't stop it till you get some of your own customers. Now, what I'm getting at is people call me. They have a trucking company, small trucking company. They want to learn how to broker. And I have to explain to them that you are already, well, they want to learn how to broker so they can get loads for their own trucks. And I have to explain to them, you don't need to, and you shouldn't be brokering loads to your own truck, because you have your own operating authority. If you've got an MC number, even a DOT number, but that's, if you're going to be an interstate carrier, you've got to have your carrier authority. All right, bottom line, you'll have an MC number. That you'll be an interstate carrier. If you only have a DOT number, yeah, you're an intrastate carrier, meaning you have to stay in your own state. But that's a story for a different day. Now, as a carrier with your own MC number, you got your own carrier authority, you're set up. Yes, that's what that carrier authority allows you to do, is deal with customers direct. So you can go knock on the door. Hey, I'm XYZ Trucking. I'd like to sit down and talk to you about moving freight for you. All right, now if you got your small trucking company, just a couple of trucks, generally you're going to be working on transactional contracts, but as you build, you can actually go in, sit down across the table and hammer out a contract. Your rates per mile, accessorial pay, detention pay, all that additional stuff that the bigger carriers are able to negotiate with their customers. That's where you're going to be making your money, having your own customer base. How many customers do you need? Yeah. How many trucks do you have? And if you got one or two trucks, you probably don't need more than 2 or 3 customers, depending on the freight volume those customers have. The thing is, a lot of people think that, hey, okay, I've got my own carrier authority, got it set up. I'm getting loads from brokers, so I want to start my own brokerage so I can get loads for my trucks from myself. Well, you don't have to do that. That's what I'm getting at. With your carrier authority, yeah, you can legally go to a carrier and get loads direct from them. Now, I said transactional contract. Basically, if you're wondering what that is, that's just a shipper load confirmation. If you've been working with brokers, the load confirmation the broker sends over to you, that in itself is a transactional contract. It's for that transaction. See what I mean? Now, I explain all this to these smaller trucking companies that call me, and a lot of times you can just hear the light bulb go off. Oh, wow, cool. I thought I had to get my broker authority. But I always tell them, it's a good idea to get your broker authority, or at least have the ability to broker freight. Here's why. Okay, you got a customer. They got loads going from point A to point B. While your truck is hauling that load from point A to point B, your customer calls you and says, hey, I got another load. Do you want it? Well, your truck's not available. All you can say is, I'd like to, but I don't have any equipment available. And that load is now gone forever because now your customer's going to call somebody else. See what I mean? Once you say no, that money's gone forever. If, however, you are able to broker, you can still make money on that load. You tell your customer, hey, yeah, we'll do that load. My truck's not available, but I'll get a truck to haul it. Now you're going to be able to broker that load to somebody else and make a little bit of money off of it. And at the same time, keeping your customer happy. Now, does that mean you need to go out and get your broker authority right off? That's up to you. Matter of fact, for something like that, I'd really recommend you call me. 479-668-0838. Let's talk about it. Because more times than not, I'm going to recommend to you to start out as a broker agent. Yeah, that's where you're going to be working under somebody else's license. But that's going to make it legal for you to go out here and get your own customers. It's going to be, you're still going to be able to make money off those loads. Now, down the road, after you get the experience, you got a customer base built up. Yeah, step out, get your own authority. Become your own freight brokerage company. When you start a freight brokerage company as a carrier, I'm talking about getting your own authority, you want to set up a separate corporation for the broker side of the operation. The reason that is liability. You got your carrier operation over here under one corporation. You got your broker over here under a separate corporation. So if anything happens to either one, the other is not affected. If your truck gets out there, gets in an accident, you get sued, they can only touch your carrier operation. They can't touch the brokerage and vice versa. But anyway, call me, we can talk about that. But larger carriers, the big trucking companies, if you notice, they all pretty much have a broker division. And the scenario I just gave to you, this is why they do have a broker division, so they can broker their excess freight. Maybe your customer has loads you wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole, but you can broker them. Still make money off of them. See what I mean? So if you're a carrier, understand you can get your own customers. You're able to get your own customers. Now, if you've been using a broker for 100% of your loads, read your broker carrier agreement. I guarantee you, in that agreement, there is a no back solicitation clause, meaning you cannot go back to any loads that you received from a broker for X amount of time. So don't think you're going to be able to, hey, I can go back and start working those customers myself. No, you can't, because your trucking company signed a contract with that broker. You have to go out there and find your own customers, and that's not difficult, because if you know how to broker, you're going to know how to get your own customers. Matter of fact, a lot of people call me that, hey, I want to do a brokerage, but I plan on buying trucks down the road. Well, what kind of equipment? That's the first thing I'm going to ask. What kind of equipment do you plan on putting behind the trucks? Dry van, flatbed, or refrigerated? And they'll tell me. I say, okay, what you want to focus on when you get your broker operation going are loads that can go on that equipment, because pretty much what you're doing is you're laying the groundwork to have your own customers when you get your own carrier authority. So when you do go out here and start your own trucking company, you've got customers direct through your brokerage. Okay, if I'm getting confusing here, I don't mean to be. Okay, call me. We'll talk about it. 479-668-0838 is my number. And that's at Tautoa, obviously. Now, if you got a comment, you got a question, you can leave comments below on any of our YouTube videos. You can email me as well, fbtv@freightbrokertv.com. Matter of fact, any questions, anything like that, we'll probably use on a future podcast. So feel free to contact me.